guys, it's Jenny. Welcome to my channel where we focus on using ordinary materials to make beautiful things. Today I am being inspired by Rose at East of Honey. Rose is a graphic artist, and in her spare time she makes absurdist collages. She puts out a video every Thursday, and I enjoy her videos thoroughly. It's so much fun to watch because they're so kind of crazy. So she has inspired me to try to do something along those lines. Of course, I'll put my own spin on it, but I do want to try making something kind of absurd, sort of silly, that I can put into one of my journals. So I found this picture of this explorer. I'm not sure which explorer he is, but I do know that he was from one of the books about, exploration in the 1600s, whatever. And you can see there are the tools around him of an explorer. There are some globes here, and then, there's a sextant up here. And so anyway, I thought that I would start with him because I thought he was pretty cool. So my thought is Mr. Explorer needs a Mrs. Explorer, and then they need to have some kind of background that would be silly for them. So I have some different choices for Mrs. Explorer here. And I like how his arm is over here kind of resting on this wooden, table thing. So I thought it looked like he was trying to put his arm around somebody. So I have this Mrs. Explorer that his arm would go around her, and she looks very bored indeed. So, she's not too happy with being Mrs. Explorer, maybe. I have this one, which is, she's a little more casual. She doesn't look terribly happy, but she looks like maybe she's ready to trek along with him. She has on some casual clothes and some shoes that she could go hiking in, so she's up for an adventure maybe. Then I have this one. I feel like Mr. and Mrs. Explorer are on a fancy cruise ship somewhere or at a party maybe. And so this one is probably about as modern as you could possibly get. Although the style of dress maybe, kind of harkens back to some of those that they used to wear. This one is also very modern. Well, they're all very modern. But she's kind of like, oh, Mr. Explorer, I don't really want to, hang out with you. I'm going to go this way. And he's like, oh, no, my love, come back there. And then there's this one, and she looks like she's traveling with Mr. Explorer. She's a little short, so I'm not sure we want her. Maybe, well, she might be okay. She looks like she's traveling with Mr. Explorer. She has on her boots and her coat, and she's ready to go. I think scale-wise, though, I think she's probably not the one we want. So the choice is, do we want Mr. Explorer maybe at a party or on a cruise ship or something like that with Mrs. Explorer? Do we want Mrs. Explorer to be on the cruise ship with him? But no, I don't think so, because she looks like she's still dressed up. I don't think I like that one as well. We could have Mrs. Explorer up for a hike, or we can have Mrs. Explorer bored silly. When I was first cutting them out, I kind of thought I wanted Mrs. Explorer really bored, but I'm not sure I really want that one now after looking at it. My thought was, if I had Mrs. Explorer, I would cut this away and she would be sitting on a rock or something, and he would, have his arm around her, and she'd be like, oh, I can't believe you brought me here. And he'd be like, oh yes, let's set up the the tripod and take a picture so I can show all my explorer friends. But she's, nonplussed by it. So that's the idea with that one. The idea with this one is, she's up for the exploration with him. Yes, darling, quick, take the picture to prove to all of our explorer friends. Or I like being on a cruise ship, so you know, we should go to formal night on the cruise ship, and this would be fun. All right, so I like those three. I thought I would pull a background from my Mallorca book, and I have already kind of sifted through and gotten some. So I have some different ideas depending on which Mrs. Explorer we picked. So I think this would be a good one for Mrs. Explorer who's up for an adventure. You know, she and Mr. Explorer are hanging out here, and they're like, oh, look, we can take a picture. We made it to the steps. So they're sightseeing. I thought this one would also be good for that. Mr. and Mrs. Explorer are on this lovely path, and the world is around them here, right? So if we wanted Mrs. Explorer who's happy to be with him. This is one of the ones that I think that I pulled if we wanted Mrs. Explorer to not be happy. She can be sitting on this cliff, and he's standing there, and they're taking a picture out over. It's like, oh, look, honey, this picture, I can show all of my Explorer friends. And she's like, yeah, sure you can. So there's that one. This one's kind of the same idea. She would sit on the edge of the rock here, and he would be here. And they would have this, you know, she's unhappy. He took her someplace that she didn't want to go on vacation. He promised to take her on vacation, and she thought they were going to go, you know, see shows and do the nightlife and dance and all of that. And that's not what he had in mind. He had in mind that he would just take her exploring. So that's a nice background for that one, I think. I think that one's better than the other one. I thought about this one because I thought she could sit on that, but there's really not a lot of, there's really no place for her to put her feet. So I don't think that one's probably a good choice after all. This one I thought would be fun if we had Mr. and Mrs. Explorer on the cruise ship. So if they're on the cruise ship, this looks like to me one of the backgrounds from the cruise ship when you have formal night, and they take your picture and they put you in front of the background of some place you've just been, you know, or one of the ports that you're going to or something. So, you know, this beautiful cathedral all lit up, you know, would be Mr. and Mrs. Explorer in front of the cathedral here, their backdrop on the cruise night. So now we just have to decide which one we want, and I'm having a really tough time deciding. So, okay, cruise ship. Explore with me. Explore with me. Well, I think these two go together too, huh? Nope, I guess not. Oh, maybe they do. Oh, yeah. Oh, look, honey, we're here too, so, you know, we could have that one too. Explore with me. Although I like the other ones better, I think, for the explore with me. Or sitting on a rock. So at first, I think my favorite one was this one because I thought this was, I don't know, that one's pretty absurd. So that one's pretty absurd. Oh gosh. Decisions. I just don't know. I don't know what to choose. I just don't know. Hey, honey, Mr. and Mrs. Explorer on vacation. Quick, take a selfie. Right? Okay, maybe we should cut out Mr. Explorer and see how he looks on the backgrounds too, because we can put him next to Mrs. Explorer on the background, and I'll leave these three here because I'm just not sure. Okay, let's do some quick cutting here. I am just struggling with the light in here today. feel like it's glaring. I'm having trouble seeing. Just gonna cut up around here and make it easier. I hope you will hop over to Rose's channel and check out some of her collage things that she makes, because they are really fun. This week she had a little wooden bird kit that she had gotten at a thrift store, and she painted the bird and put a background around it and put some vegetables up around it and made it look like it was part of a soup, you know. It was really funny. So I find her things very, very humorous. So if you like absurd kind of art, you should check out her channel. And there are probably lots of other people too who do this. I don't know. I haven't stumbled across them, but then I haven't actually searched for them either. So yeah, I guess a little doodad there, but we don't need that. I thought too that you know, I couldn't just leave the pictures alone. And she doesn't leave them alone because she collages them and layers them and does fun stuff with them. But I didn't think I could not embellish them. So I'm pretty sure that, you know, we're going to have to embellish them and, you know, put some jewelry. Like I'm looking at his jewelry here, thinking that that's gonna need some dressing up. He's gonna need some gold studs and things like that, just to, you know, just to add to the silliness of it all. So, oh, I have a kitty cat walking through one of my bins. It's a go-go. He's pretty large too, this guy is, because his cloak is so large. You know, I think I'm going to trim that there, even though there might be a little bit there. But I'm contemplating trimming off some of his cloak, like just bringing it into here, because I just don't know that he needs to be quite as wide as he is. Depending on which background we choose. Like if we choose the double background, it's probably okay that he's that wide, because he won't take up, you know, there'll be plenty of background for him to take up. But if it's one of the single page backgrounds, he may just take up so much of the page that you don't really see the background, which would not be, I mean, it's okay, but I don't think it would be as much fun. Are you digging his shoes? I am. He's got on these big fat shoes, but it's the time period. So we'll have to decide whether to, you know, maybe just make some strategic adjustments to his cloak there. All right, let's see how he looks. I know I'm gonna have to, you know, probably, you know, cut him in a little, although that kind of looks, you know, like he's got his arm here. So there's Mr. and Mrs. Explorer in front of the background. See, and we lose, if it's one page, we lose almost all of that background. So we could cut him maybe a little smaller. We could move him over here to where it doesn't really matter that there's much. See, that's still, I think that might look better. I don't know if that's off camera or not. Let me scoot it over a little bit. Try to keep this centered, the book centered. So we could do this side maybe. I can do a double and still fit it in my, one of my junk journals, I think, if I, you know, hinge the page so that I can open the page out. That would be okay. So it would still fit, I think. So that would be Mr. and Mrs. Explorer at on the cruise ship, you know, on formal night, right? So let's see. We have these other ones. I think we might need to cut away her box so that we can see how she's going to look against the rock. If we have her sitting on a rock. We'll see how Mrs. Explorer will look sitting on a rock. So I thought this would be fun to kind of treat some of these like the little paper dolls. I made the magazine paper dolls a few weeks ago. 2 weeks ago? 3 weeks ago, maybe? Maybe 3 weeks, I think. And I had a lot of fun making those. And I just decorated magazine images. I took ladies from magazines. If you haven't seen that video, and did some decoration to their dresses. I collaged new dresses for them, and I painted part of what they were wearing and things like that to make a paper doll. So, okay, was that one of the ones where she's sitting on the rock? So she could be sitting right there. And he's, you know, next to her going, no, now, dear. No need to be sad. Quick, take the picture. That does cover most of the page, though. Okay, so let's try a different one. This was the one where we had Mrs. Explorer, who, oops, getting stuff mixed up here. Mrs. Explorer, who was, you know, happy to be out exploring with him. Look at this beautiful place, honey. Oh, we found this trail. Right? I know. I think I might be getting a little silly. Although my husband would be like, getting? What do you mean getting? You're always that way. Right? So that could be them standing on the trail. Look, friends, we found this great trail. Here's Mr. and Mrs. Explorer out exploring. So that's kind of fun with the double. Have the one too that's the house. Right. Mr. and Mrs. Explorer on vacation. Look at this great Airbnb we're staying in. That's kind of fun, right? Maybe off to the side. What a great Airbnb, yeah. So that's kind of fun with the flip out. That might be good. I like this one with the steps. So again, we're losing, since it's one page, we're losing almost all of it. So I think we're gonna have to pick something that's a 2-page spread. So we're gonna have to pick Airbnb or this one. Oops. I just have way too many pieces of paper floating around here. Make sure I'm not missing one over here. Okay, so I think that's going to kind of leave out our Mrs. Explorer sitting on a rock because I think there's just not enough. I think I need the whole thing. I don't even know where Mrs. Explorer, whose board is. I've lost her. Oh, there she is. Okay. All right, so now that's down to Mrs. Explorer Mr. and Mrs. Explorer at the Great Airbnb. That's not bad. It's okay, I think, with the, you know, with that closing. It's like, it does look like a vacation picture. It's like, oh, vacation, yay. So that's fun. Mr. and Mrs. Explorer on the road not taken, maybe. You know, there they are showing their friends. Look, we found this great hiking trail, Mr. and Mrs. Explorer. So again, that looks like a good vacation picture. That looks kind of like a, you know, something, either their friends that are with them, excuse me, took the picture, or they set up the tripod and, you know, flashed it from the trail. So that one's pretty good. Or the last choice is Mr. and Mrs. Explorer on the cruise ship for formal night. Now there we have probably more opportunity for some decoration of the outfits. I'm thinking that's gonna kind of go. I don't think that's gonna work with her sash there on top. So Mr. and Mrs. Explorer on formal night, where this flips out. I don't know, I'm torn because I really like that one. But I think I really like the Airbnb one too. I know, it's too silly. I know. Look at the great Airbnb. Or the road not taken. Oh, I know, I'm sorry. I'm waffling, and I'm just sitting here waffling, and I'm so sorry I'm waffling. Okay, I like the road not taken better than I like the Airbnb. So it's gonna be this one. And I could put, if we did this one, we could put the road not taken on it, and that might be fun. Mr. and Mrs. Explorer on the road not taken. Which could be kind of fun. All right, so that one, or Mr. and Mrs. Explorer on vacation on a cruise ship. It's formal night on the cruise ship. What do we think? Formal night. I like the color of this one, and I like this picture. Oh gosh, it's so hard to know. She fits really well there with it next to him. Does she fit as well? We could determine it based on who fits as well. She's not quite cut out all the way, but she's pretty close. Okay, I think she fits better, so I think we're gonna go with this one just because she fits a little better. And then we can do this. Yep. All right. Okay. So I'm going to glue it down before I change my mind because heaven knows I will. So I think I'm just going to try to stick a little glue in the middle of each of them just so I can get them sort of where they go. And then I can go back and glue the edges. Right, because I want this. Do we want her dress in front of his other shoe? Up close and personal there. Get closer, right? Okay. All right. So that gives us the center here. So I'm just never very good at adding glue like this. I should probably use the wet glue. It'd probably be easier, but on the other hand, it would wrinkle the paper, I think. Got stuff stuck to my glue stick. That's not good. Maybe if I just put some glue back here. Didn't even have to cut his hand around there. He just looks like he's got his arm around her. Isn't that sweet? Mr. Explorer. Loves his honey. Takes her on vacation on a cruise ship. Right? My Mr. Explorer likes to do that. He likes to go on cruise ships. I do too, so I can't say anything because I enjoy it too. Oh, good. We can see a little bit of her sash sticking out there. It's kind of swirling down. That just reminds me of a picture they would take on formal night at the cruise ship. Look at the camera. Look at each other. Put your arm around her. You know, it's always fun. We always get a bunch of those pictures taken. We hardly ever buy them because we never really like them as much after we're done. But it's fun to have them taken and then look at them, and then then you can choose to buy one because they don't print them unless you buy them. I mean, they're not out anything. Used to they would do a print, a sample print and put it out, but now it's all digital, so it's no harm no foul if you don't buy it. It's just a digital, and the photography people are gonna be there and stand there whether you have your picture taken or not, so you might as well have one taken. It's not quite down. And sometimes they're really good. A lot of the pictures that my husband and I have together, just the two of us, are from cruise ships because they are a lot of times really good. We don't usually get the background of like the ship or where we've been and stuff like that because a lot of times they have other backgrounds that are a little more non-cruise specific, and so that's usually the one we end up with. Okay, so we have Mr. and Mrs. Explorer chosen here. Let me move some of this stuff out of the way. All right, Mr. and Mrs. Explorer are chosen and glued down, so now we have to work with what we've got, which is okay. There's nothing wrong with that. Okay, so let's see. What can we do? I was thinking I had brought some butterflies and bugs and things like that, thinking that I'd probably end up with something in the woods and that it would be fun to have like some butterflies floating around things, but that doesn't quite go with this, I don't think. So I suppose I should have put something down here for them to stand on, shouldn't I? But maybe I can find something. Let's see what we can find. See what we have. I was thinking too, I had brought some little pictures of dogs. I thought, if the really bored one, the one that didn't really want to be on vacation, might have her little dog with her. And that would be cute. I think he needs some bling, for sure. So I think he needs that. Maybe we should add a little paint to liven up some of this a little bit. So I am using Metallic Accent semi-watercolor paint. So it's from Art Philosophy. And they're really pretty colors, and you can see I'm starting to use some of them up because I've used them so much. That one's low. Some of these are really low. But I love these paints. They're fun colors. And you just, I just love to use them. Let's see, this is kind of an antique gold. They're a little more opaque than regular watercolors. It says they're semi-opaque. So they are a little more. Let me grab something I can dab paint off on. Apparently I wasn't too prepared today. Okay. I'm thinking we'll just add a little gold along his his chain here. He just looks like he needs a little more bling, a little more sprucing up there. So I hope my head's not in the way, but I have a tendency to pull the picture towards me. So I'm trying not to do that, but then I feel like I'm leaning in and I might be putting my head in the way, which is equally as not as good. So I just think it's more fun if you, we'll put some jewels on there too. Let's see, what else might he have that needs a little gold? Whatever it is he's holding down here. Definitely needs to be brighter. I'm not sure what it is. Obviously a symbol of something. It looks like some kind of tassel. I'm painting these realizing that I did not coat them with clear gesso. And I'm thinking, why is the paint not reacting very well? It's because I didn't coat it with clear gesso. Oh, goodness. That's not helpful. All right, let me grab a paper towel. So the question is, do I want to back up and coat it with clear gesso to make it a little less shiny and part of the or do we want to just kind of let it be broken up there? It's beating up a little bit because it's shiny surface. I don't know, it's kind of cool like that. I've actually never done it without painting the gesso on there. So maybe I need, it looks like I just need less water and more paint. So that's okay. I'll just try not to make it as wet. Okay. Let's see. I think we'll try a little white on his fur there. Let's clean that brush off a little bit before we dip it in the white. So I'll try to restrain myself on the water. Not used to doing that. Used to painting it pretty wet, so I'll just kind of make his fur pearlescent there. Because, you know, I just can't leave it alone. It's just not in my nature to leave it alone. Besides, if it's going to be silly, then it might as well be even more silly. Right? If we're going to make it silly, then let's make it silly. Because Mr. Explorer definitely needs some silliness there. He doesn't look like he has enough fun. Of course, I'm not sure Mrs. Explorer looks like she has enough fun either, but do some of this fur over here. Oh dear, are you gonna wear that old thing to dinner? Right? She's wondering why he can't put on a tuxedo jacket like everybody else. Why can't you wear a dinner jacket? We actually enjoy cruising a lot, so I don't know if you guys have been on a cruise or not, but we love it. It's a great vacation as far as we're concerned because we like all the entertainment of the cruise ship. We know people who don't, who are like, nah, I can think of better things to do. But we enjoy doing all the excursions and then at night having a lovely dinner and a show, and we can go dance. There's always something going on deck, so lots of fun things to do. Okay, let's see. That looks pretty good, I think. You know, brush a little bit over here. What do we think? Should we put a little of the metallic on the black too? Not everything. I'm just thinking. I was trying to decide, should we do his leg? Should we just kind of outline? Maybe we should just kind of outline what he's wearing here. Too much water. It's just beating up on me. I don't even know if the black's going to show up, black on black like that, but it is a black metallic, so I'm hoping it will. A little bit anyway. Yep, I've got a little in the gold there. It's okay, we're going to put some stones there anyway, so I don't know. I'm not really sure that helped. The light I'm looking at doesn't really look like it did, so we'll just kind of splotch it along here. Okay, let's see, anything else on him? Should we do his shoes down here? Maybe the soles of his shoes. See the edges there. All right. Okay. Let's let that dry and let's see what we can do to Mrs. Explorer here. See what Mrs. Explorer needs. What do you think? I think she could use some metallic as well. And make sure I get that black off. That's what I thought. There's still black on my brush. Over here trying to get rid of the black before I dip it in the pink. That's the only bad thing about doing black, if you don't do it last. If you do it last, it's not as bad, because you can definitely go clean it, but, and heaven knows, maybe I just need a new paper towel. That might be helpful. Okay, let's try some of the pink on Mrs. Explorer. Try not to get quite as much water. Not really sure how that black's looking. It's almost silvery, isn't it? Drying almost to silvery. Let's see. Maybe Mrs. Explorer needs her sash painted. I guess it's a sash. I don't know. Could call it a sash. I'm not sure what you'd call it. Still got too much water, I think. You do a very good job. I didn't cut out this. Well, I don't know. It looks like her dress is kind of back there and his arm's back there too. So it's not too distracting. See, now Rose on East of Honey would never do that. She cuts everything out. She has X-Acto knives that she uses expertly, which I do not. So I stick to scissors. Because I didn't put some clear gesso on this, the paper is buckling a little bit from the water, which is kind of okay. It's kind of giving it some texture, I think. So maybe, what do you think? Let's see. So that's there. That was kind of down the front edge of her dress here. Maybe across her waist. Little sash here. Let's see. Maybe the underside of her ruffle. I just got it on her arm. Just a little. I am definitely not an expert painter, but I like the way some of the metallic paint looks on the magazine dolls. I did this before on the other ones, but as I mentioned, I sealed them with some clear gesso before I did this. It gave them a little tooth that kept them from buckling. Let's see. To catch my light here. For some reason I've got a glare going today. Okay, do need a little bit of water. It is watercolor after all. Put a little more down here. This was mostly water, not much pigment. I think part of the reason it's buckling too is I'm not sure I got glue on the bottom of that. So it may not be adhered to the page very well. Maybe just a little on the edge of her dress down here. Okay, I think that's probably all the paint we're going to use. I don't think I want to paint anything else on there. I think we're okay with that. This black has kind of just turned silver. Interesting. And it's dry. Okay. Well, that's kind of a cool look. All right, let's add some jewelry. Let's add some jewelry. Some water on that. Okay, so what do we have? I have some pink jewels. Those are kind of hot pink. Let's see. We might need some gold bling. What do we do with that? There's some pale pink. There's some gold bling. Like I knew there was some gold here somewhere. we had that. We have some of these kind of yellowy jewels. Oh, I have way too much stuff. Let's see what's here in red. Some plain jewels. Okay. I think one of those, some of those should work, I'm sure, so we don't have to dig through everything. You know, I'm always afraid that there would be something better. Like, oh, if I just dug a little bit longer, there might have been something better. But I'm trying to get out of that mindset and just pick something. So if I have, you know, when I get to 3 or 4 or 5 choices, that's enough. As you saw, I had like 5 different Mrs. Explorers, but I wanted to have even more than that. So we could put some little bling there. Let's see if I can grab some glue. I'm using art glitter glue. This one does fabric too. I have lost my little metal tip somewhere. I don't know where. So I'm trying to keep, you know, tiny dots of glue. So we'll put one there. I think we should put 2 or 3 along the dangle there. Put another one at the Y. I mean, after all, he needs some bling, right? Mr. Explorer needs to show off his wealth. I think we're going to have to put some down here on his, whatever this is he's holding. I don't even know what that is. I probably should look it up. I'm sure it's some kind of symbol of rank or something that, you know, he's achieved. Okay, so he has those. We could put, since this is kind of turned to silver, we could put that. We could put some on his shoes. We could put some bling on his shoes. I don't know. What do you think about the? Should we put something on the little thing down here? This tassel, whatever it is. Looks kind of cool painted the way it is. Yeah, but we could put a line of jewels across there. Or we could put some jewels hanging down in there. I think maybe some little jewels across there would be good. Let's see. See if I can get these to stick. They have a sticky back, so we'll see if they stay, because if they don't stay, then we can always add a little bit of glue, but if they stay, that's a good deal easier. I know this is not, you know, this is not necessarily beautiful, but it is fun. It is silly and it's funny. You know, so sometimes you have to do what's silly and funny. And that's okay too. There we go. Maybe a couple like right here at the top of the tassel where he's holding it, because it would be tied. If it's a little tassel, it would be tied off there. So I'm thinking like 2 right there. Okay, and whatever he's holding there looks all fancy schmancy. Now he's all fancy. I don't think I have any more white pearls, or we could put some some white pearls on his ermine there. He's wearing red. I have some red pearls. No, I don't think so. I think we'll put some bling on her. And then I'm not sure I want to do anything to this side over here. I think I just want to kind of leave the background so that it's sort of interesting. Let's see. She should have, what do we think? Should she have pearls or jewels? Or maybe a combination of both. So what should we do? Should we put jewels on her ruffle all the way up here? That might be fun. Or should we put pearls? Let's see. Where are my scissors? Heavens. Now I've laid down my scissors and I don't even know what I've done with them because I laid stuff on top of them. Oh my gosh. One of those days. Jenny, what are you doing? Okay, so we can kind of get an idea. We can lay some there. I like the jewels. Let's see. Pearls. Nah, I like the jewels. I'm flashy. I like jewels. I like the bright, blingy. I was watching a video this morning about journal aesthetics and the different aesthetics in the community. And I was trying to figure out which one I am, and I think I'm kind of a combination of a couple. But I definitely am one of the ones that likes all the bling. Now, there are lots of people who don't like a lot of bling in their journals, and it's just not me. I like bright colors, and I like things that are blingy. I like to use trash to treasure kind of stuff. So I like cutting up magazines that would have been thrown away. I like this. The book that I have came from a charity book sale. I paid like $2 for it. If you saw my video around Valentine's Day, I had one about the charity sale that my husband and I go to every year. And we missed it the last year. I think the year before too. I think it was canceled because of COVID. And so, we're very tired of things being canceled because of COVID, just like all of you guys are. But it was back on this year, and we were very excited to go. So the charity has this big fundraiser every year. They collect books all year long, and then they have a huge book sale over a weekend. It's at the fairgrounds in Phoenix. And they raise money to give to community charities that help people in the area, literacy programs, all kinds of things. So they've been around for a long time, doing this for a long time, and we're happy to support them, and we're happy to always go and find lots of interesting books. I think. Let's see. Should we add some down that too? Maybe not. But I think we need to add some across at her waist. I think 3 across her waist will be good. So I enjoy, I was sitting here thinking, where am I going with this? It's just saying that I enjoy using things that other people have gotten rid of. These are books that are all donated that would have, gone in the trash and that kind of thing. Maybe 2 more there. So I enjoy that aesthetic is one of the ones that I do a lot, that I try to actually use junk mail and cast off items and only things from thrift stores and books that I've cut up actually. I've never bought a digital, which is not to say that I wouldn't use one if I'd had one maybe, but I've never bought one, so I don't know, how those work. I mean, I know how they work, I understand that, but I don't know. Let's see, I think down there too. I don't know, I guess what I'm trying to say is, how I would put together a whole journal with a theme like that. They're beautiful. I see people who have all these digitals and they're beautiful. It's just not what I choose to do. Looks like 4, 3, 4. So she was, the video I was watching was talking about steampunk and goth and all of that, and I love those. I don't make those, but I love those. I love looking at those. I love the shabby chic ones. I love all of them. There's not a junk journal made that I don't love, I think. Okay, so what do we think? Are we done? Does she need some bling around the bottom here? Mrs. Explorer is very highfalutin, so she definitely needs some bling. Okay, I'm thinking that I am done with this. I may come back later and decide to do something else, but right now I'm liking this. I'm liking, Mr. Explorer, his modern Mrs. Explorer. They're on vacation on a cruise ship, and they're having their picture taken with this background. And I think this background, I will just take this side out with it and put it into my journal as a flip out. So that'll be great. Okay, I hope you had fun. I hope you didn't mind the silliness today. I just kept having it in my head that I needed to make something silly. So I did. So that's what art is all about. Thank you for joining me. I hope you found some value. If you did, please hit subscribe. Until next time, I wish you good fortune, a good day, and remember, use what you have to make your life more beautiful. Bye.